Put down your knitting, Grandma. The real entertainment starts here.
Introducing the all-new Sky Blue Radio. Alrighty then.
Military Broadcast Radio, giving veterans a voice.
This is Bill Emmel, retired U.S. Army. I'm the founder and executive director of 22 Warriors Foundation, and you're listening to the HTrain.
We want to remind our listeners that the opinions of our show does not necessarily reflect the opinions of MBR. Please keep in mind, this is entertainment for the listener with a sense of humor.
Today's show is brought to you by Tee It Up for the Truth. Divots can be replaced, freedom cannot. Portions of this program may not be suitable for those under the age of 18. Parental guidance is suggested, but not mandatory.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
I don't care if it sounds crazy and has a brain injury. He is funny as
We're definitely in support of those that serve.
Rock has 2 words of advice for you. Simply put, get ready.
There's a lot of non-profit organizations out there.
I've seen a lot of stuff in my life, but that was awesome. You ain't seen nothing yet.
Business to make dreams come true.
The HTrain Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is that time. It is a special Memorial Day program. And, you know, whose idea it was for us to do this way. It was Rob's idea. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. We are broadcasting here from the Colorado Media School here in colorful Colorado.
Which is so cool.
It's so cool. And, hey, can't get away with ever not having any hiccups. Even recording, we have the hiccups. So we'll just while we're talking and stuff, I'll let you do this.
If you don't know, if you are just listening to the show and you're just getting started, so this show has, to my knowledge, we have never gone off without a flaw. So
we did pretty good Monday.
We did very well. Eric Reed did not get the correct number. So if you're listening to the show, if you keep count of the number of flaws we have, so you just heard one, at the end of the show, if you join in and you give us the correct number, you get yourself a happy little package of happiness. And that, right now, that little package of happiness includes a can of Lysol. It looks like you were fixing flaws as we go.
There we go.
So if you don't understand, so like sitting in this studio right now, this is like, I say it all the time, it's like sitting in Darth Vader's bathroom. He is working furiously on like 2 different microphones and 2 different mouses. There are, I count 4 screens in front of him, plus a soundboard, plus, 5 screens if you count the iPad. So yeah, this place is insane, man. So to keep it all running smoothly, and I don't know how H does it, but he does it well. So yeah, so if you want to win that pack container of Lysol and wipes and hand sanitizer and cool stuff and MBR swag, you got to have the right number, folks. Got to have the right number.
There we go. And ladies and gentlemen, and once again, thank you so much for joining us. Today's episode, we're here. Our only mission is to show veterans and talking and stuff.
So
I'll let you do this.
If you don't know, if you are just listening to the show and you're just getting started, so this show has, to my knowledge, we have never gone off without a flaw. So if
we did pretty good Monday.
We did very well. Eric Reed did not get the correct number. So if you're listening to the show, if you keep count of the number of flaws we have, so you just heard one, at the end of the show, if you join in and you give us the correct number, you get yourself a happy little package of happiness. And that right now, that little package of happiness includes a can of Lysol. It looks like you were fixing flaws as we go.
There we go.
So if you don't understand, so like sitting in this studio right now, this is like, I say it all the time, it's like sitting in Darth Vader's bathroom. He is working furiously on like 2 different microphones and 2 different mouses. There are, I count 4 screens in front of him, plus a soundboard, plus 5 screens if you count the iPad. So yeah, this place is insane, man. So to keep it all running smoothly, and I don't know how H does it, but he does it well. So yeah, so if you want to win that pack container of Lysol and wipes and hand sanitizer and cool stuff and MBR swag. You got to have the right number, folks. Got to have the right number.
There we go. And ladies and gentlemen, and once again, thank you so much for joining us. Today's episode, we're here. Our only mission is to show veterans and our men and women and veterans in uniform. I said veterans too many times. To show them that there are more programs out there beyond the VA. My name's HTrain.
And I'm Rob.
And so much thank you for riding with us. I'll turn that up just a little bit, but I heard it. You heard it. I'm sure
Ozzy
the
can never
folks
be loud
at
enough.
home heard it as well. So we have an interesting show. I was just going to play a rerun, and Rob's like, well, wait a minute. You know what we should do?
Here's what
He's like, I want to do a special Memorial Day, an interview. So, folks, I have no idea how this is going to go. This is our little key card that tells us the itinerary. I'm going to hand it to Rob, and now Rob is driving the show.
So Rob is going to take that and flip it over. Folks, so here's the deal. I come from the airborne community. We are very, very particular about remembering our history and where we come from. That being said, I've been a part of this since, I believe, October or something like that. I want the listeners to know where we come from. And by we, I mean HTrain. I want folks to know how this got started, where we're coming from, how we got this party started, how this is all going, and more importantly, the direction it's going. So you are off today. It's Memorial Day. You are not at work. Pour yourself something over some ice cubes. Sit down, get comfortable, whatever it is that you got to do. And today, I'm only going to talk to H, and we're going to find out what the story is there. All of the music was picked by our favorite Dirty Canadian, and it all is time selective to basically H's life. So let's get that party started. So, H, talk to us. So there it is, Indiana, 1978. Mrs. H is like, hey, it's time to go to the hospital. I'm having a baby. Pick up the ball, man. So where are you from?
Well, in the words of Steve Urkel, it was a it was a summer evening, and I was pushing through. No, I'm teasing. All right, do you remember that episode of Family Matters?
I do. I know exactly
right?
what you're talking about.
Oh, I love TV. I tell you. Well, when it comes to my life, so my mother and father, they officially was married for like 44 or some years before my mother passed away. They were looking forward to having a. They were looking to have. My dad keeps on telling me that he was looking forward to having their 50th anniversary, but unfortunately, my mother died of pancreatic cancer in 2012, right before I went to the Paralympics and represented the United States in Sochi, Russia.
Okay.
But I was
cover that in detail.
I was a really good place kicker in high school. So I always say that I don't think, because I'm techie wise I'm pretty smart, but like numbers and book grammar, all that stuff, I wasn't really that smart. And once I got the TBI when I was deployed, it just made me, be even dumber kind of thing. Okay? Literally half of a brain, let me tell you. But I really believe that my time kicking football, I was a kicker. I believe me playing on a football team, that's what got me through high school. Because if you just go to high school and you don't get involved and you're not doing sports, I don't think teachers are that involved. Like they won't go out of their way to really help you. Okay?
My kids are experiencing that now.
Yeah.
Talking, I'm listening.
But when you're a jock, or when you have something to do with the school, for instance, like, okay, well, you're not going to play sports, unless you have a C or a D or whatever, you can't make practice. Well, then the coach gets involved and stuff like that. That's what I mean. I really think that I graduated because of football. Sports helped me. We went all the way to semi-state my senior year.
What hospital were you born in? No?
I think it was St. Joseph Medical Center in Kokomo, Indiana.
Kokomo?
Kokomo,
That's really a
Indiana.
place?
It is really a place, and don't listen to the Beach Boys. They're totally wrong. There's no sand there, let me tell you. There's Indiana Beach, and that's it. And Indiana Beach sucked because there was corn everywhere.
You were born and raised in Indiana?
I was.
All through high school?
Indiana, yep. Kokomo High School, or Northwestern High School in Kokomo, Indiana. Very small town. Today it's probably like 35, 40,000 people. And back then it was like less than 20,000 people.
Oh, wow.
It was a small town.
Really? Did you
Yeah.
like growing up in a small town?
You know, I did. But
you certainly don't live in one now, so
right,
yeah.
well, the unfortunate part about a small town is you have to drive like 2 hours, or I take that back. I had to drive like 30 or 45 minutes just to get to Walmart because
Wow.
we were where I lived. We lived way out in the boonies.
Why'd you live so far out? Were mom and dad
I have
farmers
no
or something?
idea. I think maybe my mom and dad didn't know how to raise a child, and maybe they were scared and think that they were maybe raising a future terrorist or something. So they wanted to make sure to be way out in the boonies. But the good thing about being born and raised in the country is the values that I had that my mom and dad taught me.
Yep.
Like that's all that I have. That's all that I know.
And I see those on you every day, so I totally get it. What do you call it? What did mom and dad work?
My mother was home interiors, which
Cool.
I don't even think home interiors is around anymore.
I don't know.
And my father, he worked in a factory. He worked in Delco before it became Delphi, and he retired after 31 years.
Delco, like the batteries?
Delco Electronics, General Motors.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Doing what? What was he working the assembly line?
I used to joke with him about he was a button pusher, but he used to. I think what he used to do is like grab the molds that they do the plastic and stuff, and like lift them. Kind of like 8 Mile.
Yeah,
that
I
movie.
know exactly what you're talking about.
I think that's what he did.
Really?
Yeah.
And that still exists there in Kokomo?
I don't know. No, that plant doesn't exist anymore. I think the plant that exists in Kokomo is a Chrysler plant.
Oh, wait, I didn't realize the price was still made in the States. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
So, what do you call it? Are there brothers and sisters?
I do. I have one technical stepbrother, but me and him was kind of pretty close to the point where I didn't really look at him as a stepbrother. I more looked at him kind of like a half brother. We're kind of distant, because I live here and he lives there, but he knows that I would do anything for him, and I know that he would go out of his way to do anything for me. But I wouldn't say that we're like close, Like I'm a mama's boy. I talk to my mama every week.
Oh yeah.
I think the last time I talked to my brother was when this virus thing started.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
The older or younger brother?
He's older.
Is he?
Yeah. Yeah. He's. Let's see. I'm in my 40s. He's got to be he's got to be in his 50s.
You don't look a day over 60.
Oh, thank you. I
Yeah,
appreciate that. I appreciate that.
So you're growing up in Kokomo, Indiana. Highlights? Did you enjoy it there? I mean,
I did.
rope swing, lake. Kind of tell me about Kokomo, Indiana. I've never been there. There's a large.
You're not missing much.
There's
let me
a lot
tell
of people
you.
listening that have never set foot in
The
Indiana.
biggest
so
thing about Kokomo, the biggest thing about the area Indiana is Monticello Beach, which is not really a beach. It's like a man-made beach, and we called it Indiana Beach. And literally, dude, there was nothing there. Really?
Really?
Nothing. You know, I tell my wife all the time that, you know, I came from a prep school. Why was it a prep school? Because there was nothing to do other than your study.
Really?
You know, if you don't have anything around you,
Yeah.
you know, kind of getting in your face and stuff, it's very easy for you to just worry about your studies
Really?
or worry about sports. Yeah.
Were
I
you
think
a good student?
no. I tried really hard, but I kind of had I think I had my dad's learning disability. I kind of had a learning disability to where I didn't really comprehend things, and then after my brain injury, it just made it really worse. Like the first time, I didn't think about anything about the SATs when I was in high school, and I think I scored like an 800 or something. I was like really, really low.
Mm-hmm.
And then the teachers are like, okay, you're not gonna go to college if you don't buckle down and do this. So I'm sitting there and like, let me tell you how much of a dreamer I was. I thought I was gonna go to Harvard or Notre Dame. I saw the movie Rudy,
Yeah.
and I'm like, that's gonna be me. That's gonna be me. And then when I get my report card, yeah, this isn't looking such like a good idea.
Was
you know,
Rudy a good
kinda-
student? I don't even know. I've seen the movie, but I don't know. Was Rudy?
Rudy
a good
was a
student?
terrible student, but he
a
worked
good kicker.
hard, and he eventually got into Notre Dame. Like I think 6 or 5 months before he graduated.
Really?
Yeah,
Does everybody growing up in Kokomo? I mean, because it's so close, is the goal to go to Notre Dame?
pretty much.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you grow up going to their games?
I have not been to one of their games, but
Really?
technically, I don't do the college thing. I never
Oh.
liked college football, and like I liked professional football.
Mhm.
At that time, I was a huge Dallas Cowboys fan.
Why?
You know, I was just
Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for what you just heard, and we're gonna get to the bottom of this right now.
I was a huge Dallas Cowboys fan. Why? I have no idea. I got to be honest with you. I have no idea. I think it
heck?
had. Well, I really liked Emmitt Smith. I
Oh.
really liked Emmitt Smith, and I really liked Troy Aikman, and I followed them for like the longest time. And then when I got back from the military,
Mhm.
and I was trying to do this thing called Buddy Bowl. It's a charity for football.
Okay.
We did it in Indiana. Operation TBI Freedom came up to me and they're like, "Hey, we're doing veteran wishes. Is there a wish that you have?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah."
Sweet, gentle Jesus, if you tell me that your wish was something to do with the Dallas Cowboys,
Yeah, it was. But wait, hold on. So
our
I
friendship
wished
is in question right now.
I
folks.
wished to be in the stadium before they tore it down.
Oh.
Okay.
Yep.
And they came back and they told me that Jerry Jones had said no, and they even tried to get me to be at that game like a water boy or something,
Yep.
and said no. And I wasn't the only one. There was other veterans that did that, and I'm like, wow, okay, all right. Well then I'm done with this bit of it. That's just how it is. And I can see right now. I don't know why it keeps on doing that, but the video keeps like freezing. Right? It's hold up. That's not my.
Oh, no,
it's not my fault though.
I agree. Just because we have a flaw doesn't mean it's your fault. So you're good, dude. All right. So we're growing up in Kokomo. So now it's time to start Kokomo High School. You said Kokomo Central High School. Is that what you said?
Right? No, it's Kokomo High School. I grew up and I went to Northwestern High School.
Okay. Oh, okay. Is it still in Kokomo?
Yeah, it still is considered Kokomo. Yes.
And did you grow up playing football?
I grew up playing football. Yeah.
Yep. So now you're on Kokomo High School, or whatever you just said.
Yeah.
High school.
I was on the varsity, believe it or not, as a freshman. That's how good of a place kicker I was.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know you had these talents.
Yeah.
So you're working your way through high school, 800 on the SATs, not the best of students.
Right.
I get you, man. I totally feel you. Makes you feel. Hey, man, I dropped out my senior year. So.
Now this is a great story. Now, so that happened, and I took the SATs again because the teachers were saying, hey, you need to do this, you need to do
Rudy,
do
Notre
this,
Dame.
right?
Yep, I get you.
And so I took the test again.
Uh-huh.
And when I took the test again, I had even a better score. And when we come back from the music break, I want to tell you what the score was, and I want to tell you
I didn't know you had your own Rudy story. I'm looking
how
forward to
how I got kind of stuck in the military. So whatever you do, stay with us. Don't go away. Right now, we're going to get ready, and we're headed to our first music break. So whatever you do, stay with us.
Thanks for the music, Moon
Don't
Moon.
go away. You're listening to the HTrain, the show that highlights all the nonprofit programs out there beyond the VA, the HTrain Show.
Hey, it's Rob with the Colorado State leader for Mission 22, practicing social distancing today out on the road. I understand for a lot of us that with no gym being open, no jiu-jitsu going on, I know it's a challenging time right now for a lot of folks. You're looking for that community, you're looking for something. Reach out. You know the number, 303-301-5052. You can call that number anytime. I will answer. I know a lot of people are having a hard time. Reach out to your friends. Don't wait till you're in that dark place. Don't wait till you're in that pit. Before you get down there, reach out to your friends. Say, hey, let's talk. Let's go have some social distancing together. Cool? Hey, again, reach out to mission22.com.
Hi, I'm Nico Marcolongo with the Challenge Athletes Foundation. I'm proud to be here with other nonprofits to support our troops get from the front line to the finish line.
You supported us, now we're supporting you.
And in just a few minutes, we will begin adding these artifacts to the molten bronze as we cast an historic bell, the Honor Bell. The inspiration for the Honor Bell was about 3 years ago. I attended a funeral for a World War II veteran, and at the conclusion of the ceremony, there were no military honors given. And so I thought, there's got to be a better way to honor our service members, and certainly our veterans from the greatest generation. We had the concept of putting artifacts from military veterans in the actual bell.
We invited the Honor Bell Foundation from Denver, Colorado to come and watch us cast the first Honor Bell.
Each state line we stopped, we did a dignified transfer of these artifacts from one motorcycle group to the next, until we've gotten all the way here to Cincinnati and the Verdun Foundry, where we did one final dignified transfer.
It was a long journey, but it gave emphasis more to what we were doing and showing that the nation actually appreciated what we were doing.
I donated 2 of my husband's artifacts to the bell, his belt buckle from the Coast Guard and his dog tag from the Coast Guard. I just felt that the Coast Guard with the insignia on it was something that was really special.
We have artifacts from each major war since World War II.
The metal was so hot that it basically just melted those artifacts into the molten metal so that it makes those metals actually a part of the bell.
Working with the Verdun Company has just been an incredible experience for us. They've been working as partners with us all along the way, and without them, we would never have the success that we have now for the first Honor Bell.
It's neat to be able to partner with the Honor Bell Foundation that has this mission to bring one of these bells to every national cemetery.
The Honor Bell Foundation, in partnership with Cincinnati's own Verdun Company, has forged the 1,000-pound bronze bell you see in left center field. After the pregame festivities, the Honor Bell will be escorted by the Patriot Guard Riders and Cincinnati Police, who will lead the bell away from the ballpark and begin the 1,192-mile journey to the bell's permanent home at Fort Logan National Cemetery in Denver.
Tolling of the bell really signifies a solemn moment. And each time it tolls, in our case 7 times, each one of those tolls represents something special and something that was lost to our country, and in this case, a veteran.
The next sound you will hear after the moment of silence that we are about to have will be the first tolling of the honor bell at Fort Logan National Cemetery.
These bells will be put all over the country to celebrate these lives of these soldiers that given their life truly for our freedom that we enjoy here in the United States.
Due to copyright laws, we cannot play via Twitch.
Hello, my name is EJ, and I'm the host of the 80s Rock Show on Military Broadcast Radio. Each week I take you on a trip where I share great 80s rock and roll music that does not get played on the radio. The idea for the show came as a result of a playlist I created. I started to long for the great 80s rock and roll music I heard in high school on Chicago radio stations like the Loop and WCKG. So I put together the playlist, and then after a while I realized I had the foundation of what would become a great radio show. You can catch the 80s Rock Show here on Military Broadcast Radio, Fridays at 5 p.m. Eastern. I hope to see you there.
Teed Up for the Troops is a national nonprofit organization who uses the game of golf to help veterans as they transition from the battlefield to the home front. Our mission at Teed Up for the Troops is to honor, remember, respect, and support all those who have served in the armed forces for the United States of America. Whether they've been injured or they're suffering from some of the invisible wounds of war, we want them to know that we stand ready to help them as they take that next step in life.
I have focused more after being on a golf course. I'm generally happier, and I owe it all actually to this organization. I mean, I really wouldn't be where I'm at physically and mentally and quite frankly emotionally if it hadn't been for meeting and getting to know people in this organization.
As these military men and women return to their communities, we want them to know that there are great organizations out there to help them make that transition. And with our many connections to veteran service organizations around the country, we can make a positive difference for America's veterans and our military families. Teed Up for the Troops looks to support our veterans and military families through 6 key areas of support: suicide prevention, PTSD and traumatic brain injury treatments, employment and career pathing, sports and golf rehabilitation, housing and homelessness, and family and caregiver support. With your help and our many connections to veteran service organizations across the country, we can make a positive difference in the lives of these American veterans.
HTrain show.
Yeah, so when we left to, I don't know if you guys heard, but so that was AC/DC and Alice in Chains, some great tunes while you and I were both growing
yeah,
up.
it was.
So yeah, I remember hearing Thunderstruck for the first time, and I also remember hearing Alice in Chains. That was good stuff. So you're Kokomo High School, or not Kokomo, Central. Tell me the name of the school again.
It was Northwestern. It was Northwestern High School, the Fighting Tigers.
You're the place kicker on the football team.
I was a place kicker on the football team, and I was the best high school mascot in high school history. And people know me as the mascot because I had this thing as a mascot. When the basketball team came out, I would carry the flag and I would run around, kind of like Purdue Pete did for Purdue. And one day, they never let me live. I ran into a player. Yeah, they don't ever let me live that down. There's a lot of stories that I have in high school.
How did you get the job as the mascot? I missed my calling in life.
Because
I should be the mascot for the Colorado Avalanche.
Because nobody wanted it.
Are you serious?
It gets hot in that suit. In fact, that was my goal. I wanted to be the mascot all up way through junior high, and a lot of people don't know about this, but when I was in 8th grade, this guy that was the mascot, I was paying him like $5 or like $1 or whatever, so that I could, take his place as a mascot during like the couple of games because I wanted to be it so much.
That's amazing, dude. I had never known this about you.
My friends were probably thinking, because they probably didn't know, they're probably like, "You're a dummy," kind of thing. But yeah, it got so hot, and it was one of those old suits. It didn't have
fur falling off of it.
Yeah, it didn't have air conditioner or anything. I would put like washcloths and stuff. I would put washcloths in my armpits and put washcloths over my head, and this is when I didn't have a heat problem, and I would do all that. I wore like I don't want to say I got naked, but it wasn't really long johns. It was like the black like ski suit, like ninja suit kind of thing, and I wore that, and it really helped me during wrestling. Because, you sweat all that stuff.
So you were the mascot, you were the place kicker, and you wrestled in high school?
Yes.
I had no idea.
Yeah. I was pretty good at wrestling when I was in the 7th, 8th grade, 9th grade. Literally, I thought that I had the world by its balls, and I found out real quick that I was holding my own.
So what did you want to do with your life when you were in high school?
My whole thing, honestly, I wanted to kick in the NFL. That was my only goal. That was the only thing I wanted to do. And I knew I had to go to a good college to be able to have them look at. I had scouts. I had a bunch of people looking at me when I was a kicker, and this is where it kind of gets dingy. So when we went on break, I told you that what I did was I had a really bad first SAT, ACT, and then I took it again, and I scored like 1,200. Okay. I mean, it was really good.
Okay.
And I sent all these letters out to all these colleges. And I was getting ready to graduate, and things haven't changed. The TBI just makes it worse now. But I didn't have much patience. Imagine that.
It's hard to believe.
I didn't have much patience in high school, and all my friends are getting.
All the interns are nodding at the radio right now.
Right. Well, so when I got the when I when I got my SATs, I sent all these applications out to these colleges, and all my friends, they were getting their acceptances, and I wasn't getting anything. I wasn't getting a denial. I wasn't getting acceptance.
Just radio silence.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, And then one day, I went over because I had already graduated, and I went over to a friend's house that had graduated the year before, and they were smoking marijuana, and
What?
they were smoking marijuana in
I
his
didn't
house.
realize that was
and
legal
he
in
had, and he had no. And at that time, it wasn't. But at that time, I walked into his house, his little apartment or whatever, and he had lawn chairs as furniture. And I'm not saying, folks, that that's a bad thing. Okay.
Clinton Wesley, if you're listening, I miss you.
That's not a bad thing. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but for me, for what I wanted in life,
That was impressive.
right? I got scared. I got scared, and I went to the recruiter. I went to the Marines recruiter station.
Oh, so you didn't want to end up like in a
Right. I
department
didn't. I didn't want to. And this is nothing to bag anybody else, but I
never
felt
leaving Kokomo, Indiana.
I did not want to be a 21-year-old reject living at home with his mom and dad. I just didn't want to. So I went to the Marines, and the Marine recruiter, he didn't want to touch me. He said, "Your ASFAB," because that's what they go by.
Yeah.
He's like, "Your ASFAB is too low."
Really?
And I'm like, whatever. Okay, got it. So then I went across the street to the Army recruiter.
You remember your name?
Yes, because he shit on me. He screwed me. Sergeant Anderson. He screwed me. He told me, because I told him when I went in the military that I wanted to be a youth pastor because I was big time into church, listening to, non-secular music, all that stuff.
Okay.
Big time. And he's like, yeah, you can go to the Army. We'll set you up with the MOS of being a youth pastor. Yes, we can do this. And then he told me that the ASFAB was a little low.
Okay.
He's like, but that's okay. We'll have you take it again.
Remember what you got?
No. It was low.
I don't
Look, if it was low for the Army, that thing was low. Okay? And so I took it again the second time, and I passed. And the day that I graduated was the day that I left for basic training.
Really?
Yeah.
So all right, so you're in with the recruiter. You retake your ASVAB. Decide, hey, you're gonna join the Army. Go back.
They were that graduation when I got my diploma.
Yeah.
Like the recruiter was there to get me.
Really?
That's what I mean by I graduated
and
left right away, and then I did shakedown on my birthday.
Wow.
And then after a month, because you have a month or whatever, and then finally you're able to, call mom or whatever, get phone calls. So about after a month, I called my mom, and my mom's like, "Yeah, you joined the service way too fast." I had like 9 or 10 acceptance letters from all these colleges, and I screwed up, and my mom's like, "Well, we can put I don't know what it's called, but like you can put a pause on the enrollment because you joined the service, and then when you get out of the service, you go right to it."
Yeah.
So I picked Anderson College. That was the one that I was going to do.
Uh-huh.
Because that's the one that my parents could afford. Because, I mean, I had full scholarships.
Yep.
But just because it's a full scholarship
doesn't mean you're getting it free.
Doesn't mean that you're getting it like right up. You still have to redshirt and make the team and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, so did Anderson College, and I did 3 years in the military at Fort Carson, or not Fort Carson, but Fort Stewart, Georgia. And I'm like, for me to try to go to college, because not doing math or anything for 3 years, that's like jumping on a train that's been going a while. and I've already established, like bills and stuff like that. I'm like, maybe it's just not in the cards for me. So I sat down and I prayed to God. I'm like, God, if you want me to stay in, then I will. But if you don't want me to stay in, then I won't. So if I get orders to Germany, if they get the reenlistment, because reenlisting to Germany was really hard.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
I said, if you can get me Germany, I told the recruiter at Fort Stewart, get me to Germany, then I'll go to Germany. And he's like, oh, okay, well, let me see what I can do. Come back off of the field, and he's like, well, we got you Germany. I'm like, no shit. And he's
Can't
like,
say
yep.
shit on the radio.
I'm like, are you kidding me? He's like, no. And I'm like, okay. So I went to Germany, and then I found out real quick that whenever you reenlist and you get the duty station that you want, there's a reason why you're. So as soon as I got to Germany, within they was already planning on deploying to Kosovo.
Uh-huh.
But then the invasion happened.
Yep.
And instead of me deploying to Kosovo, they're like, all right, go into Iraq. Now, I've already been at that duty station for 2 years, so I was re-enlisting to go to Fort Carson. Well,
hold on. You are jumping way far ahead of us. Hold on. Let's back things up a whole lot. So you're sitting in Sergeant Anderson's office, you said?
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
What MOS?
I picked 12 Bravo because my dad said, whatever you do, don't pick infantry.
Okay.
If they offer you 11 Charlie, tell them to stick it up there where the sun don't shine. I'm like, okay.
Did Dad serve?
He did. And I didn't find out until when I went to basic training.
That your dad served?
That my dad served.
What'd your dad do?
He was infantry.
Really?
I didn't even, or no, he wasn't infantry. He was a cook, and I was so mad because I found out that he didn't enlist, that he got drafted.
Well, yeah, because that was our parents' generation was draft.
I was so mad. Huh?
Dad go to Vietnam?
He did.
Really?
Yeah.
Mine did not. So, bad props. I didn't realize that when I had met him.
Yeah,
okay.
you wouldn't know that. He doesn't.
No, not at all.
He doesn't say that he was in the military, and like when I came back from Iraq, and I was in a wheelchair and stuff. I remember my mom saying, wow, I haven't heard you talk about the military like this ever since, the 30 years that we've been married.
Exactly.
Because he didn't talk about it at all. That's the reason why I'm like, hell, I didn't know. He didn't go through the VA. He didn't do anything.
Wow.
I literally did not know that he was in the military or anything. He just kept telling me all through my high school that you should join the military. They'll take care of you, blah, blah, blah. He never said you should join the military because I did. Yeah, he never did that.
Really?
I did not know, man.
That's
I did
amazing.
not know. And
where did you go to basic training?
I went to basic training in Fort Lost in the Woods, Missouri.
What a place.
Fort Leonardwood.
What a horrible. If you are listening from Missouri, you should move. That is a terrible place that you live. It is horrible. There's nothing. I have 3 tattoos that I got in Missouri because there's nothing else to do in Missouri.
There isn't.
What a place. So you did that whole one cycle? Like went to basic training and then went right to AIT in the same spot?
Yeah.
And you did
same
Bravo?
drill sergeants.
Oh, gosh.
Same drill sergeants.
Did you enjoy that? That must have been terrible.
Oh, no.
Did Mom and Dad come to graduation?
They did. My parents were really good to me. They really were really good to me. Sometimes I think that my dad didn't really want a child because he wasn't very parent-like.
Yeah.
He was learning, but I was kind of hyper. you know. So
Nuh-uh.
I was kind of hyper, so it was kind of hard for them. But you know, I got picked on a lot.
Really?
Oh yeah, dude. I got picked on a lot in high school. I got
Wrestler,
picked.
mascot, kicker, and you got picked on?
Yeah, I got picked on a lot in high school, and I got picked on a lot in the military.
Who picks on a wrestler?
Well,
Who does
I never
that?
said I was that good.
Oh.
I was when I was a freshman, dude. I was terrible. Look, I tell you what. You know that you're in the wrong place at the wrong time when you're wrestling, and you're looking up, and there is a banner at the roof that says, "If you're looking at this, you are in trouble. If you're a wrestler." I saw that all the time.
So you same thing, dude. I do jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I am horrible at it. Really bad. But it's fun. I enjoy it. You get to choke out your friends. Well, my friends choke me, but that's not the point. Anyway, so yeah, go to basic training, and your first duty station was Fort Stewart, Georgia.
Fort Stewart, Georgia.
How'd you like being part of the broken television set, Rockin' the Marn?
You know, I hated it. I really
Really?
did. The worst part about it was standing there in formation in the grass, being 80 degrees at night, and the gnats are just coming up and biting at your legs, and you can't do anything. You have to keep that salute, and you have to sing the
Rock of the Marn song.
Rock of the Marn song. And you know, I can't remember the words. If I heard it, I would know it and be able to sing with it. But
I'm sure there are a lot of dog-faced soldiers that have
Yeah.
blocked that out of their head.
Yeah.
But it's a great area, though. I like where Fort Stewart
that
is.
yes, I did like that. I saw my first my first part boobs in Fort Stewart, Georgia. If you ever go to Fort Stewart, Georgia, go to Savannah, River Street. Had an amazing time there during
I've been
St.
there.
Patty's Day. That's where I saw my first set.
That's right. My in-laws are in that area.
Okay.
My in-laws are in not Savannah, Statesboro.
Okay.
So, yeah, but beautiful area. I don't know how people live there, man. It's hot. I don't know how people. But
Oh,
like
I
you said,
know.
It's so sweaty. Ugh,
I
gross.
know, and I didn't know anything about humidity until
There.
Well, no, until I got here, because then I left. Then I started moving here, and I kept hearing this humidity. I'm like, what the hell are you guys talking about? And then I go visit Indiana, and it's like, bam, slap me in the face. I'm like, oh, that's humidity. Okay.
That's awesome, dude. No deployments while you're at Fort Stewart, Georgia?
No.
And just a whole lot of NTC rotations.
Well, Fort Stewart, Georgia, yeah, we had one deployment. It was an intrinsic action. We went to Kuwait.
Oh, okay, cool. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you'd been
So
in the
Camp
desert
Doha.
area. Yeah.
Camp Doha, and then I went to the field, and then when I was at Germany and we deployed to Bakuba, Iraq.
Yep.
I'm like all scared because I'm like, oh God, really? And I like watched Saving Private Ryan like right before we were deployed, and I'm like, I should have never watched that movie because I was thinking, oh shit, this is gonna happen, you know.
So you get sent over to Germany. I'm backing you up. I apologize. So
No,
you
that's
get
okay.
over to Germany. Where in Germany are you? Are you First Armor Division? First Infantry?
First Infantry Division.
Really?
Big Red
One,
One.
baby. Look at you. I was First Armor. So what year was
Okay.
that? Remember?
We're
talking about Kosovo. So I went to Kosovo. So the initial invasion was '99.
It was between like 2003, 2004.
What year did you graduate high school?
I graduated in 98.
98. Okay, so you're a little. I graduated. Oh. Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. So you're in Germany. Hey, it's time to go to Iraq. You head to Bakuba, Iraq. You said.
Yep, Bakuba, Iraq.
Part of First ID.
Yep.
And with the initial push, the first push to Iraq.
I believe so.
0304 time frame?
I believe so, and this is the reason why I don't really talk a whole lot about my military
I know, and
career.
I apologize for bringing it
That's
all
okay.
up.
Because with my traumatic brain injury, like I don't remember being deployed.
Yeah, my buddy, same thing. Exact same.
I don't remember being deployed. There's like battle buddies that reach out to me and stuff.
You see
and
pictures you were in, and you're like, I don't remember that.
I don't. I really don't. You know, and you know, I've had some guys that are just they're not helping. They're just buttholes, They're like, this doesn't make sense. You was deploy this, and I'm like, I can show you my ERB, dude. I'm telling you.
This is what I remember.
This is what I remember. I don't remember, you can sit here and second guess me all you want, but it's not helping anybody.
Do we need a music break? Where are we on time?
Are
we good?
I think we might need a music break.
I can start singing if you want.
Well, when we go on a music break, what are we going to do? What are we going to talk about?
Well, let's talk about Iraq for a few minutes.
Okay, all right. So when we come back, we're going to talk about Iraq, and I'm going to talk about how the HTrain was born.
That's what I want to hear.
So whatever you do, stay with us. Don't go away. You're listening to the show that highlights all the nonprofit programs out there beyond the VA. You're listening to the HTrain Show.
Military Broadcast Radio Network. My name is Dominic Lawson, and I am the host of The Startup Life, the show for entrepreneurs and career-minded professionals. And we are so glad and so eager to bring The Startup Life to the Military Broadcast Radio Network. Now, you may be wondering, who the hell am I? What the hell is The Startup Life? I'm glad you asked. So, first me. I'm an Army vet for 5 years, and while I was in the service, I had all these ideas for starting a company and stuff like that, but I wasn't sure what to do about that. So when I got out of the service, I was like, you know what, maybe I'm not ready just yet. So I went back to work. The thing is about when you have that entrepreneurial mindset, those ideas just never go away. So I talked to my wife, and come to find out, she had the same idea about starting a company. So we talked about it, and we started a company. We started Owls LLC, an education consulting firm where we write curriculum and do professional development with teachers, school districts, nonprofits, and things of that nature. And then from there, I started noticing all of these different business philosophies, the way a school has its business model, another business have their business model, and I started writing this blog. And the thing is about that blog is that, it was taking a lot of time. So my wife, being the smarter half of us, said, you know what, you should start a podcast. So in November 1st of 2016, that's exactly what we did. We started The Startup Life. And so that was 3.5 years ago. And now we've grown the show to over 160 episodes. Now, what you get from The Startup Life is we bring in the best business minds from around the world. We're talking Mark Randolph, the co-founder and first CEO of Netflix. We're talking about Tom Golisano, the founder and chairman of Paychex. We're even talking about the chairman of JetBlue Airways and Stanford business professor, Joel Peterson. And so we bring all of these great business minds and we bring them to you, MBR. So that way you can scale your entrepreneurial mindset. You can scale your leadership acumen, whether you're still in the service or you're about to become a veteran and start that path of civilian life. So if you're ready to upgrade your entrepreneurial mindset and you're ready to just totally level up, join me every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Military Broadcast Radio Network. Let's go.
Man, we're stuck. The coronavirus is really taking a huge toll on everyone, especially people with disabilities.
When I found out about the Paralympics being postponed until 2021, I felt devastated right away. But CAF has really helped.
I was so excited to hear from the Challenge Athletes Foundation that I received a grant for some training, which is going to be so helpful once I'm able to get active and back at the barn.
This grant was truly a ray of sunshine in an otherwise dark time.
I'm smiling because I received my first CAF grant to travel all over the world.
I would just like to take a moment and thank the Challenged Athletes Foundation and their donors for me to get a new basketball wheelchair.
They're giving everybody that I care about and I know hope.
I'm so excited to get running legs.
Thank you, CAF, for supporting me in my dreams.
I cannot wait until we beat this pandemic together.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Tim Wakeside. I'm the president of Tee It Up for the Troops. And like you, I've been kind of cooped up at home, and this coronavirus has us all dealing with these stay-at-home orders. And we decided, let's get outside, let's have a little fun, and let's see if we can also support America's veterans and military families. So our team at Tee It Up for the Troops put their heads together, and we're really excited to launch our new Step It Up for the Heroes Challenge. So the Step It Up for the Heroes Challenge is a very simple exercise where you can do it just about anywhere, and our heroes, our American military veterans, they stepped up for us, and so it's time for us to step up for them. As I said, this is a challenge you can do with anyone, you can do it anywhere, you can do it any day. We've actually come up with 6 different activities. Some are golf related, some are kind of social related, like a virtual happy hour or something like that. And you can even pick your own choice of an activity if that meets your needs better. So have some fun with it. It's easy to do. All you have to do is go to our Tee It Up for the Troops website, which is teeitupforthetroops.org. You'll register on our website. When you register, we'd ask you to consider making a donation. All of the donations that you make will go direct towards supporting our veterans and our military families. And once you register and sign in, you complete your challenge. And we ask that when you do your challenge, have fun with it, capture some photos, capture some videos, and then take it viral. Go and post this on your social media sites. Tag Tee It Up for the Troops. You know, add us into your post, and then you go out and we ask you to challenge others to also do this. So the Step It Up for Heroes challenge, again, tag us, include us, and then move on to inviting other friends and family to get involved with this as well. At the end of this, we will be selecting some of the best videos and photos, the most inspiring, the most fun, and then we'll be sending the winners a pullover like I have on right here for Tee It Up for the Troops. So as I mentioned, all the information you need can be found on our website at teeitupforthetroops.org, and you can get everything you need there to figure out how to register and get involved. So the reality of the situation we're in today with this pandemic is that all of us are having to, you know, deal with very difficult situations. But the truth is that our combat veterans, many of whom are already dealing with PTSD and you know, high anxieties and other things related to combat, maybe even thoughts of suicide, they're really having a difficult time. And so it's time for us to step up and support them. And so I encourage you to please go to our website, register. You can ship it up, you can put it up, you can do all kinds of different activities to support our American heroes. And at this time, I'm going to go ahead and lead off this challenge. I am actually going to have my daughter Haley, who plays high school golf, come out and join me, because we're going to have a little challenge amongst ourselves as we also challenge all of you to be a part of this. And I personally am going to challenge 4 people that I want to take part in this challenge. First of all, I'd like to challenge Joe Bear. Joe is a longtime board member for Tee It Up for the Troops, and I know he will enjoy this. I'd also like to challenge Matt Clifford. Matt's a longtime supporter of Tee It Up for the Troops and a guy that loves the game of golf. I'd also like to challenge Derek Donovan. Derek's a United States Marine Corps helicopter pilot, and he also loves the game of golf. And finally, I challenge Bruce Stenslin, a good friend and someone who loves to share things like this on social media. So let's get started. Let's get ready with the challenge. Ladies first, so my daughter Haley will lead off with the putting challenge. We have got a very sloped and uphill challenge, with the goal of bending this putt into our circle of patriotism with the group of American flags. That is a really, really good looking putt. Oh, that's perfect. Here she goes. Uh-oh. Dad's gonna have to match. All right, great putt, Haley. Oh. Please don't laugh at me, that one's not gonna get there. All right. I got to get this one in or I'm never going to hear the end of it. Oh, that's too firm. Catch the grass, slow it down. Okay, we got it. So again, I challenge you to join us in this challenge in supporting America's veterans. Game on.
Hi, my name is Star Baxter, and I grew up in rural Nebraska. When I was 19, I joined the United States Marine Corps and served as a military police officer from 1997 to 2005. Yes, I deployed to Kuwait and Iraq, and I saw firsthand, like many others, the toils of true hate that comes with war. I often just shook my head in disbelief, unable to comprehend what was happening to me mentally.
When I came home, my mom came to visit me and insisted that I had changed and was different. Honestly, that just pissed me off more. But as time passed, I realized I had changed. The biggest realization came in March of 2005, when I took my then 5-year-old daughter to Disneyland for her birthday. We got our tickets at the gate and then entered the park. Main Street was packed. We made it about 100 feet into the park, and already 5 people had pushed or shoulder bumped us. I felt my blood pressure rising and wanted everyone to just back away. When I felt the squeeze of my hand and I looked down, my daughter looked up at me with a smile and said, "Mom, are you okay? Let's just go to the beach." I was divorced and in the middle of a custody battle. I wanted to go home to Nebraska to be with family to help me, but I was court ordered to stay in California or give up custody of my daughter, so I was forced to go through my pain alone. I self-isolated, I drank a lot, and when I did land a civilian job, I struggled with personal interactions and could not comprehend the seemingly laid-back laziness of people in general. In 2011, I was finally able to move to Colorado to be closer to family and my sister. With the help and encouragement of my sister, I started to get back to my roots of horses. It started simple, a ride here and there, helping her clean horses, or helping muck stalls. Then I was asked to go to one of the shows and show a horse for our friend Brenda. She put me on a horse named Silky. Silky was patient and kind and guided me through that show. The following year, I married my now husband, Wade Davis, and we purchased 10 acres. I purchased a horse and started working with her to get back to showing myself. I discovered that with horses, I was able to go to events and be around groups of people. Being on top of a horse, no one would crowd around near you, and if someone did get too close for comfort, I'd just lie to them and say my horse kicks. They move really quick when you say that. Also, I was able to focus on my horse and not myself and my own anxieties about being around people. Slowly over the last 5 years, people have asked for my assistance and guidance to help them and their horses. I learned that I really enjoy helping those who want help and coaching. I push others to work hard and to be the best that they can be. My coaching is focused on the sport of extreme trail riding or obstacle challenges, and I often joke that it's called stupid human tricks with horses, but in reality it's a sport in which a very high level of trust and partnership needs to be in place in order to be competitive. A rider must trust that their horse will take care of them, and a horse needs to trust that the rider will not put them in a bad situation. It truly is about overcoming obstacles in life and in the arena. Photography was always a little hobby of mine. Taking pictures, I could essentially hide behind the camera and did not have to socialize with anyone. In 2018, at an obstacle challenge, I was just randomly taking pictures, and I posted a few on Facebook. Those pictures got noticed, and with the help and encouragement of a few close friends, I agreed to take official pictures at an event and to my disbelief, people actually paid me money for them. In the last 2 years, I have launched a website to advertise and promote my photography and offer horsemanship coaching. My goal and hope is that through my passions, horses, photography, and coaching, I can help others so they don't have to struggle alone like I did.
To the HTrain show.
All right, and we are back, ladies and gentlemen. If you didn't know, it's a Memorial Day special. Rob is interviewing me, and you're listening to the show that highlights all the nonprofit programs out there beyond the VA. You're listening to the HTrain show. Now, when
we're starting to get into the meat now.
Yes.
Now, we've been gnawing on the bone. Now it's time to start getting into the meat.
Yes, and of course, I forgot to hit the mic thing. But okay. Anyways, what I was getting ready to say, I'll say it again. If you didn't know, you're listening to the Memorial Day special that Rob's idea interviewing me, and you're listening to the HTrain show, the show that highlights all the nonprofit programs out there beyond the VA. Now, when we were getting ready to go to break, I told you when we come back, I was going to tell you how the HTrain was born.
Yep.
All right, so I don't know if it's
and I know this part is going to get a little rough for you, and I got your way through as best you can.
So
what you have.
I don't know if it's because I had a hard time in the military or what, but see, I've already been to Iraq a couple times, and then I went to the Fort Carson. And with the unit I was with, it was the same place, the same time, everything. It was occupied by Iraq.
Yep.
And I remember the squad leader coming up to me. He's like, "Dude, I gotta ask you a question. I've been wanting to know. This is your third time here. Like, did you screw the general's daughter?" Because there was no breaks. Everybody usually got like a 6 or 7 breaks, but I didn't. It was one right after the other, and it was because I PCS'd and stuff. That's why.
Were you married to Mrs. H at this point?
No.
You hadn't met Mrs.
No,
H yet?
no.
Where did you meet Mrs.
I met Mrs. H when I retired. I got divorced because of a very abusive marriage.
I didn't realize there was a previous.
Well, yeah. I'm divorced. It was an abusive marriage, and what I think's hilarious about marriage and divorce. I don't know if you've been married more than once or not.
I have very.
But it's funny whenever you ask somebody about a divorce, they always say it's because of the other person. So I'm sure she's saying something completely different,
Yep.
But
they all are.
hey, she was 21, and I just came back, and I'm confined to a wheelchair.
This is
No, this isn't Mrs. H. This is like the divorce,
Okay.
And for somebody that age, that's not even 25.
Yep.
That's a lot to put on a person.
I agree completely.
Okay. So I totally get that, and I think that's the reason why it was abusive. But when I was in Iraq, it had changed. And now I didn't want to do the NFL thing because I wasn't going to college. Now I wanted to do the WWE thing. I wanted to be like the wrestler, the show thing, and I watched it. I talked about it all the time when they came over to do the tribute to troop thing.
Yeah.
They made a big deal about it, and I would get in there.
So have you ever been to a live professional wrestling event?
Yes. I have.
Here in Denver? Or
I here in Denver, and then when I came back from Iraq when I was at Fort Carson, on my last deployment, I went to a pay-per-view event.
Yep.
It was the year Chris Benoit committed suicide.
Really?
It was that match. Yeah. We was getting ready to go there, and I was getting ready to watch this Chris Benoit thing, and they had a video, and they're like, then his opponent, blah blah blah, and it wasn't Chris Benoit. And I'm like, what the hell? because I forget who it was that he was wrestling, but I wanted to see that match. And then when we came back, it was that Monday that, Chris Benoit not only committed suicide, but he gutted and killed his 2 children and his wife.
Horrible.
And
story.
I'm like, wow.
I remember that. Horrible.
Yeah.
And one of the days I'll tell you the story. My son first experience WF. Anyway, all right. So you're in Iraq. Remember what happened? Remember?
I just remember that, like in basic, they called me risky business because I might not have had a lot of patience, but when it was like dealing with people, like I could take a lot of slack and not get in a fight, not slamming stuff. And whenever I did get in a fight, like it was a fight. But I never started it, and they started calling me Train or something like that. I don't know if that's like risky business or whatever. One of the guys came up to me and he's like, if you ever become a wrestler, you should be called the HTrain. And I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. And in my head I'm thinking, oh, that's kind of cool. I like the name of that.
Where does the H come from?
My last name.
Oh, that makes perfect sense. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not the brightest bulb on the tree, folks. I have a head injury too. Anyway, so yeah, all right. So that's where the HTrain comes from.
Yeah, that's where it comes from. And when I first started, this radio, this podcast thing, I didn't have the dream of being on the radio. What happened was I came back and I didn't want to put up my skis and just hang up the platform because everybody's like looking at me.
Skiing? You're from Indiana. There is no place flatter.
So
how did you get there?
So when I was little, I told everybody that when I had a traumatic brain injury, my mom and dad, they came and they took care of me. And I always tell people this. My parents, because of them, they taught me a valuable lesson, and I'm teaching you kids out there too today that water aerobics is not a way to pick up on women.
Okay.
Just telling you.
Why
Just telling
is
you.
that?
Because they're all old.
Oh.
So that was my rehabilitation and
Water aerobics?
water
Was this at
aerobics.
Fort Carson?
It was pretty much like with the VA, and it was it wasn't really Fort Carson. This was
okay.
like when I'm out and stuff. But you asked about how I got involved in skiing. I was in my wheelchair. I'm back from Fort Carson. I don't know why, but it was like 3 months after I finally retired that I got out.
Okay.
I was really bad, like sucking V8 juice from a straw kind of thing. I wasn't talking. When I talked, people couldn't understand me. It sounded like I was drunk. When I was talking about abusive relationship, like if I didn't let my ex-wife agree to something, she would hold my VA appointments for ransom.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
well, I'm not going to take you if you're not going to let me do this.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's what I mean, that kind of thing. And one day, I'm not going to get too much into detail. One day, I'm in a wheelchair, and something happened. The police came. They took my wife away, and the VA called the Fisher House, and they called my mom and dad, and they're like, look, he can't take care of himself. Ex-wife is out of the picture.
Yeah.
Either you come and take care of him and rehabilitate him, teach him how to be on his own, or we're going to have to put him in a Fisher House. So my parents gave up everything, came to live with me, and they were living with me for about 2 years.
Wow.
And when I was in a wheelchair, I didn't want to go anywhere. I didn't want to do anything. My parents just kind of like forced me to do stuff. And then TBI camp came up, and they're like, hey, we've got the skiing thing. And I'm like, well, I don't want to do that. Skiing is for a bunch of rich people who brag about going up and down a hill and, et cetera, et cetera.
Yep.
And I just didn't want anything of it. And then when I started, I finally found something where I felt free as a bird. I didn't need anybody to drive me. I didn't need anybody to help clothe me. I didn't need anybody to, be my partner side by side or a babysitter. I was able to do something for once in my life that I haven't been able to do in such a long time. Because when a man asks you for something or asks you for help, it's just a man thing. Literally, we have to swallow our pride and admit, I need your help.
Yep.
And that's really tough for a man because you're kind of inbred. You're a man,
Stand up, do it yourself.
Do it yourself.
Dude,
Did you just get beat by a woman? Kind of
I've
thing.
known you for years, and until today's show, I did not know.
Yeah.
To see you move around now, ride a motorcycle. I had no idea that you ever. How long were you?
I was in a wheelchair for about 2 years. I wasn't in a wheelchair because of my paralysis. I was in the wheelchair because I had blackouts and dizzy spells because of my traumatic brain injury, and I got hot and I would overheat, and it takes about 6 to 7 years after you get a brain injury for your brain to heal. And so I'm at that point where my brain it's pretty much healed to where it's going to be, but I still have, the double vision. I still have the loss of memory and stuff. I still have the comprehending issues and the remembering stuff.
Would not know that. Like I said, I would not get that from you. So tell us how military broadcast about. Tell us how.
So when I came back from Sochi, Russia, from skiing, and that's how I got started. Because I was never skiing to make it to the Paralympics. It was all about the journey. It was all about the rehabilitation.
Uh-huh.
And instead of me driving back and forth from the mountains, these guys were like, "Hey, if you come and ski race, we have ways to get you paid, and give you your lodging." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." I mean, so I was living in Aspen.
Oh, sounds rough.
Yeah, really rough, And the VA was paying for it, We're talking like, 500 square feet for $3,000 a month. Yeah, that's how expensive it was, but the VA was paying for it, and I'm like, okay, all right, this is cool. This is cool. So when I got done with the whole Paralympic thing, everybody's like looking at me, and I didn't just want to do speaking engagements. And the government shutdown, the possible government shutdown happened with Obama. Had a distant cousin call me, and she's like, "Hey, I need help with nonprofit. The nonprofit that we're going to says he's not injured enough."
Wow.
So that really struck me. So that's the reason why I started a show talking to nonprofits so that it would show the community which ones to help.
Yep.
And show the veterans all the nonprofits that are out there. Because, in the military, everything's a secret.
Yeah, exactly.
And it shouldn't be that way in the civilian life, because I don't want people to fight like I had to fight. I fought a lot, Rob, fighting to get my retirement, fighting to be able to speak again, fighting to be able to walk again, feeling my heels, feeling my ankles, stuff like that. And so when I started the show, it was called the Beer 30 Show, and my best friend in high school, he's like, "Yeah, I can't do this anymore." And
Can people still hear those shows?
Huh?
Can people hear those shows? Are they still around?
Yeah, they can still hear them. You just gotta Google Beer 30. It's still on the hard drive. We just don't advertise it. But
all right, so go ahead. So HTrain Show.
So we renamed it from Beer 30 Show to the HTrain Show.
How long is
the HTrain Show? I mean, it's pretty much the whole thing. The whole show It's been around for 7 years.
Well, did you establish military broadcast?
No.
already
His
existed?
name is Jim Butler. He established Military Brotherhood Radio, and what happened was he moved to Arizona, and I don't know if it was like financial or what, or he retired. I don't know.
Okay.
You know, he just says I'm done. It's good tipping point. So we went ahead and we disabled the Military Brotherhood Radio and changed it to Military Broadcast Radio because there were some women that were griping that it was Brotherhood, and they wanted to push the envelope, saying, "Well, if you're gonna do that, you need to put Brotherhood and Sisterhood." And I'm like, "No, I'm not gonna do that." So I had like 4 days to think of what to change the B word to, from Brotherhood, and I'm like, broadcast.
Perfect.
At one time we were thinking about doing Bravo, Bravo, and I'm like, no,
You made the right choice.
right. So, and now instead of it just being a radio station, now we teach interns how to be live DJs. And if you're military and you want to be a DJ and you do a commitment with us, we're going to pay for your gear.
So how many? I know I've seen a lot of.
I know. So far, right now, as it stands, we have 56 interns, and 7 are live, and then we've got another 5 or 6 that we're teaching. And I'm teaching Rob because Rob is going to help.
Poorly.
Yeah, Rob's going to help me because I can't do it on my own anymore.
Well, running a radio program is one thing, but running a radio station is a whole nother thing. You've got all these programs on there now. It's really picking up speed. So,
right.
I like a lot of them. So.
And with speaking of that, real quick, because we don't want to go off key, we're going to go on one more music break, and then when we come off of that music break, we'll finish this up. So whatever you do, stay with us. Don't go away. You're listening to the show that highlights all the nonprofit programs out there beyond the VA. You're listening to the HTrain Show.
Project Sanctuary helps reconnect military families so our nation's heroes can finally come home. Find out how you can help at projectsanctuary.us.
Because I'm teaching Rob some stuff.
I got to push some buttons, folks. It's the best part of radio right there. Get to mash on the buttons.
So,
Angie, your job is way harder than I thought it was.
Which one?
I said Angie.
Oh.
She produces a radio show.
Well,
Hey.
usually, does she do it herself, or does she have other people?
No, it's her, and she looks like an octopus smashing on buttons. It's hysterical to watch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's
all
fun to
right.
watch. All right, let's finish this up. So,
Okay.
let's say people want to become involved in PR radio, and look, how are we looking to get people involved? We're looking for sponsorship. We're looking
Yep.
for businesses that want to partner with us. We're looking for anyone. We're looking for people that want to get interviewed. I'm looking want to. How else? Veterans that are listening to this right now, who are sitting in the VA, who are driving in their car, who are found the app, whatever the case may be. How can people get involved?
Well, it's just like one of the interns that we just recently got. She said she wanted to be a part of MBR, and she didn't know what to do about the show and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, well, what do you think you can do? And she told me something like social media, and I'm like, okay, well, Rob does the MBR social media, so you'll be in charge of doing the HTrain Show social media. This is where I come from. All right. If you want to be involved in a team, MBR, okay, because this is you guys' program. I just facilitate it. That's the way I look at it.
You're very
okay?
clear about that, and I watch it every day.
You tell me what you can do, and then I let you, and I give you guidance as much as I can. You know, if you're good at website stuff, like Julie, she's good at website. She's doing something with website. I have no idea what she's doing, but she's doing something with the website. You know, if you want to be a live DJ, I'll set you up a live DJ. You come to me and you tell me that you want to be involved. Look, if it's something as little as listening to the podcast or listening as we stream and telling me that we sound good or we you're a little low, or I will think of a way for you to help us.
And we get those text messages
Yes.
through the show. It's kind of fun.
I have no problem. We can have 300 people that want to do MBR. We will figure out a way. I have this woman that is blind, Claudia. She wants to be a part of MBR, and I keep telling her, just like I tell everybody, all interns, all military guys. Okay, this is your home. MBR is your home. It's not my home. MBR is your home. If you want to be a part of a team, you want to be a part of something, come. We're not going to deny you. We're not going to say no. You need help finding something? It might be small, but we'll find something for you, and you'll be a part of the family. We have a little Facebook forum.
We do.
That thing's blowing up every single day.
It is. Yes, it is. I have to mute it before I walk in a meeting.
Yes.
All right. Well, appreciate it. If you want to get involved, reach out to us. We're on all the social media platforms. If you have a cause that you want shouted out, give us a call. Reach out to us. We'll get it done. If you're looking to get interviewed, give us a call. If you are a business and you'd like to partner with us, you'd like to come alongside us and support the veterans, we're looking for you. So by all means, reach out to us and get you set up for success. Okay. H, I really want to thank you for today. It meant a lot to me. I've known you for years, and I learned a lot about you. And I appreciate it. I appreciate the show, and I sincerely appreciate friendship.
Yeah, no problem. And I want to say, since you're watching this on Memorial Day, whatever you do, unless they're being jerks about it, and like they come up to you and say, no, you don't do that, blah blah blah, because there's a lot of guys that do that. All right, in Memorial Day, it's to appreciate and show support for the veterans that died. Okay, so go to Fort Logan, put a flag on the cemetery, or just go visit one of the gravestones. You don't even have to know them. Just go to one of the gravestones and say, maybe you don't believe in God. Maybe you don't believe in the whole thing, okay? You just have to say, look, I believe in the universe, and I want you to know I appreciate what you did in the past, because we have paper, we have a system, we have a constitution. It's because we had guys die. So go to the cemetery, pay your respects to any veteran. You don't have to know them. Any veteran whatsoever, okay?
Remember those that have come before us.
And if you see a veteran that's in uniform, or somebody that you know that's a veteran, especially on Memorial Day, try this. Don't say thank you for your service, because that's November 11th. Don't say thank you for your service. But go up to him and say, Rob, I need you to know, never forget.
They'll know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. Say that. Never forget.
Don't. Hey, folks, thanks a lot. Appreciate your time.
With that being said, everybody, we are out of music breaks. But what we are going to do is we are going to we're gonna close it up after there we go. All right, here we go. No 2-minute warning or anything. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, that is the show for today, everybody. Please remember that we really appreciate you for listening. We'll be back again next week. The podcast of this radio show is available right after we go off the air tonight. And remember, we're here for you, not for us, giving our veterans a voice.